What the hell is this?
I am the Battle Armor Dragon Assault Strike System. Your Killstar controls my brain cage, instructing me that you are my rider.
Hello, Grievous.
I am equipped with a hydraulically powered Terror 4000 cannon and titanium trauma plates.
I think I'll take you out for a spin.
Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is an interesting game. I mean, there's an April Fool's trailer. We all thought that was quite funny, you know. It's nice to see. And then they said it was real, okay. And then it comes out, and my god, is it amazing. It's funny, it's interesting, the characters are over the top, the gameplay is fun, it uses the foundation that was laid by the original Far Cry 3, and uses it to create something we've never seen before for a downloadable game. And considering the fact that you don't need the original Far Cry 3 to play it, I'd say this is a very worthy investment. Considering the fact it's only €15 or dollars or pounds. Yeah, that's definitely worth it. You play as all-American hero Sergeant Rex Power Colt, who is sort of sent to this island to stop his former colonel from launching these missiles which could turn the whole world into savages. It's sort of, you know, your generic over-the-top 80s action, futuristic action film, which just works because it's meant to poke fun at it, and it pokes fun at a lot of 80s and 90s gaming culture and movies. So there's some Die Hard references, Terminator, Aliens, and through the main character Rex Power Colt, you can tell there's a kind of big sort of Terminator inspiration, as he's voiced by Michael Biehn, who was in the Terminator and was in Aliens, so that's really, really cool. As I said, the characters are over the top. Rex himself is just hilarious. I mean, he makes some really funny things. He says some really funny things when he kills people, and overall, he just makes he has some really well written dialogue. The gameplay is largely unchanged from Far Cry 3, so you're still a very solid first-person shooter with good stealth mechanics. Allows you to chain takedowns. You get a lot of the abilities you didn't get in the original Far Cry 3. Until you unlock them. You still have to unlock certain abilities, of course, in Blood Dragon through a leveling up system, which works kind of similar to Far Cry 3, but it's different in that you don't pick your abilities. It just automatically gives you a new ability, which is fine with me. You know, it's a downloadable game. I'm not expecting it to have a major RPG mechanic, but it's nice that they have that in there. You still can take over outposts, but they're now called garrisons, and you can access, once you take them over, you unlock new side missions and new hunter missions, which you can use to earn money and unlock new attachments for your weapons. Like with Far Cry 3, you can hold up to 4 weapons at a time, and there are a lot of them, you know, they're your usual guns. You've got a pistol, you've got a machine gun, you've got the bow, you've got the flamethrower, you've got a minigun, these kind of weapons. I like the pistol the most, though, because it's a reference to RoboCop, and that it's exactly the same gun that RoboCop used, and it's called the AJM-9. It's named after the main character of RoboCop, which is really, really cool. I really like that. As I said, the game stealth works really well. You can use Rex's cyber eye to tag enemies, just like in Far Cry 3, where you could use Jason's camera to tag enemies. You can go up to enemies, use your takedown maneuver, and you can chain takedowns. You can even throw a shuriken to kill them. You can use like your D20 dice to distract enemies, like with the rock. So a lot of it's very similar. The big new addition is the Blood Dragons. They're these massive big dragons, neon sort of lit dragons that are very powerful. They shoot lasers, so you have to avoid them. They take a lot of hits down, unless you're using a minigun, which that's the best thing to do, is to try and get hold of the minigun if you can, if you're going to take on a Blood Dragon. You can distract them using cyber hearts, and you get them from your dead enemies by just ripping them out, which is pretty cool. And you just throw them to distract the dragons, which is a nice way of getting them away from you if you just want to run away. It's a nice idea. The gameplay works fine. It's pretty much very similar to Far Cry 3. You've got the same driving mechanics, same shooting, all that. So if you've played Far Cry 3, it's the same exact gameplay. So you'll jump into it no problem, knowing what to do, which is great. The game sound is great. It's got a great music by Power Glove. There's some really good music in there. The theme. They even put in the Rocky 5 song. They put in Rocky 4. Sorry, I got that wrong. They put in the Rocky 4 song, which I was like, that is awesome. They even make a Rocky 4 reference about 2 seconds later, where the dragon says, "I must break you." That is awesome, considering I'm a huge fan of Rocky. I loved Rocky 4. Ivan Drago was just an amazing, amazing villain, sort of villain-like character for Rocky, so I really like that. That was really neat. There's even like a training homage to Rocky 4 with Rex working out, and there's a great song attached to it as well. The music in it is just phenomenal. The voice acting is great. Michael Biehn does a great job as Rex Power Cold. He does a funny job. He delivers great dialogue. I really, really enjoyed the voice acting in this game, and the music. It's really good. It's just, it kicks ass. It's actually worth actually going out and buying the soundtrack. It's worth checking it out because it's really, really good. Just YouTube the songs. They're very, very good. The graphics, they're largely unchanged from Far Cry 3, but the game's a lot more colourful. It's sort of a realised 80s vision of the future, and it's just, it looks great. There's scan lines across the screen to give the impression that you're sort of viewing this through like an 80s VHS tape, which I think is pretty cool. There's the loading screen has sort of like a VHS look to it as well, and yeah, it's just, the graphics are fine. They work really well, and thanks to the game's art style, I don't really think there's a major difference between the console and the PC versions. Though the PC version gets a bit of extra fidelity with the graphics options, although it's been made known to me though that the PC version suffers from very major performance issues if you run the game on ultra settings, so that's something to be wary about if you're buying it for PC. But overall, Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is a really, really good downloadable game. You don't need the original Far Cry 3 to play it. It's funny. It's really good, and I know even though there's only 8 main story missions, there's plenty of outposts to take over. There's still a good number of side missions, and there's loads of hunter missions. And even with that, you can just go around the island and just go hunt the animals if you want. So this is a game worth checking out, and there's a new game plus mode as well when you beat it, so that's also nice. So I'll let our today's special guest, Sergeant Rex Power Colts, give the game the final score. So Rex, what do you give it?
I give that a 9.5.